Hey, this is Mills from America, and we're back with another interview. This is, I think, interview number 15 out of day, I don't know, 10, 11, lost track. Um,
Sounds like a survivor's manual. This is day 15. The interviews are getting longer and stupider. Hey,
oh, I can't even get through an introduction without laughing hard. Okay.
I can't get through one without interrupting, so this is going to go well. Excellent. Hi, this is Guru, and welcome to Guru playing Merry Hell with Mills's format. Interview 15, known as, in colloquial terms, as the last interview.
Take 5. Oh, boy.
If you want me to take 5 minutes, yeah, sure.
Oh, boy. Okay, so you already said who you are.
Yeah, I have. Oh, who? Hello. Someone's joining. I can see some form of hat.
All right, so I don't. Okay.
See this-
All right, so you said that's your guru. Where are you from?
I'm from the UK, originally from Birmingham, kind of smack bang in the middle, not near any of the coasts. So that was fun. It was a very dry upbringing, and apart from all the rain, that was helpful. And yeah, I've moved around a bit in the. I think of myself as a citizen of the world, but I've always lived within a 60-mile radius of where I grew up, so that's good. Up to Nottingham for university, made famous by several Robin Hood pictures, which bear very little resemblance to Nottingham. And yeah, now I'm down in Leicestershire, a little place called Hinckley, which is near to where they've locked down. Leicester has just gone back into lockdown again, so it's just COVID-orama around here at the minute. But there we go.
COVIDorama. Yeah, it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, at least the UK and every other country for that matter seems to know what the heck they're doing with how to treat cases.
You'd think we're running in a close second, and I swear some of the government is looking at the USA and just taking notes. Denial. That sounds good.
Well, we're at
Why are all the
122,000 as we speak.
Yeah, and you brought up it's apparently it's a hoax, but at the same time, the US had just bought up the entire world stock of remdesivir as well. Not like most of it, all of it for the next several months.
Yeah, so
So
for those viewers who don't, depending on when they watch this, the world is currently going through a pandemic, COVID-19, and
if you find this in the end days after this, in post-apocalyptic times, we used to talk about things in such light and jolly terms, but yeah, it's just the 2020, the year it all went south.
yep, yep, nobody predicted it, uh, especially for a school year, and like we're gonna, and depending on my questions, we'll get to that. So I was gonna say a non beatbox background about yourself, but I mean, like you told me like where you're from, and so we can.
Sure, I mean, beatbox background pretty much covers my entire beatboxing career as well. So that's lucky. I can do two in one. Yeah. So how to begin? I've always been quite a musical person. I had gone did singing at school, classically trained tenor, which is a useful skill for about 5 minutes per year. Played several instruments to various standards of self-taught, or occasionally was persuaded to play a bassoon in an orchestra. That was also fun. And then yeah, I've since then I've become a teacher. Originally trained as an English teacher, then retrained as a maths teacher, which has been great actually. I really enjoy that, and I'm teaching maths and music currently at a school in Northamptonshire, which is the home of such people as Jim Dale from the Carry On movies and Kettering Town's finest, James Acaster, who is a bit of a legend in those parts. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Also, play the drums. I played drums in a band for about 10 years. Just give me a lot of stage experience from the back of it, hiding away, which is nice. And yeah, now I'm doing looping and pretending to beatbox, which is it's been working out for me so far.
Pretending.
No, no, really. Like, Clockworks put out a solo challenge the other day, and Tonka was like, "Yeah, I'll give it a go." Yeah, Tonka.
Jason Statham. Jason
And
Statham is Tonka.
I had to go in the kitchen earlier, and it sounded somewhere between choking and like a cry for help. So I haven't put anything up yet. But there we go. Luckily, I have several tools equipped which enable me to create music without any beatboxing talent whatsoever. Luckily, turns out you can just make an a cappella choir and different noises, and it'll pan out okay.
All right.
So that's an inspiration for all those kids out there who don't know what an inward bass is and can't do a lip roll. They just need a Swiss roll.
I see what you did there.
Thank you very much. Uh-huh.
All right. So that kind of led right into my next question was your 505 background. I would ask, like, have you ever used guitar pedals or like a 202 or a Chaos pad? And we see that you have one. So if you kind of,
yes.
And it's awesome that your camera angle right now actually is on all of your devices. So if you actually just want to kind of knock them out.
That is not an accident. That took a good 10 minutes of room rearranging to make this. Make this magic happen. So initially, I think back in the day, I'd had a play around on. I do own an RC3 somewhere. Back when I'd entertain the notion of getting out a guitar or have a ukulele over there. There's a couple of guitars lying around the house, 3 keyboards, various other musical bits and bobs. As I say, I've just dabbled in a lot of instruments. So I knew about looping, and I'd seen a couple of people do some really impressive stuff live with it. One in particular, that just took me down the beatboxing route, was a guy called Motormouth. Hails from Nottingham. He was the UK semi-finalist in 2016 and 2017. He got to the semi-finals both times. And yeah, I met Alex on the. I was gigging with the band, and he came in as he was there at a gig for Matt Henshaw, and he was kind of emceeing it and doing some bits in between. He's a superb rapper as well. So he just really has the whole act that he brings to it. I was hoping to put on an event this year and have him host it, but that sadly has not come to fruition at this point. But maybe more on that later. And yeah, I think from there, I was getting to the point where the band was kind of slowing down. The keyboardist was pregnant, and at this point, it's not going to be gigging as heavily with a young baby this year. So I was having a thought about what I could do to take more kind of musical independence. And there's a lovely colleague of mine, Tracy at work, who just started doing some life coaching. And we had some little sessions about kind of, first of all, kind of depackaging who are you? Because I think I'm a bit of a hodgepodge of an individual, mentally and psychiatrically. So yeah, I think I came to the conclusion that it kind of didn't matter what or who I was, but I was just going to make the best of it, which is where the whole guru thing came from. It used to be a little kind of handle back in the day on MSN Messenger. Oh yeah, nice early 2000s deep cut there.
You got mail.
Oh my gosh, yes. I've still actually got an MSN.com address, and I'm very proud of that because those things are rare. So yeah, very pleased with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it came up with it was a kind of name that I liked. It featured my initials, GU, and then it was the URU at the end. One, I wanted to have a name that wasn't just either going to get me confused with someone important in the Sikh religion or the 90s rapper. So I knew it needed to be something different. So the extra U became, it was Giles Irwin, you are you, or you are yourself. It became it was almost like a self-affirmation, which is a really horribly trite way of putting it, but it sounded nice, and I could come up with a convincing backstory in case I was ever interviewed. And luckily, that's come full circle right now. So that was the whole guru thing, and I scraped together what money I had and convinced other family members, hi wife, hi mum, and parents-in-law, to chip in. And yeah, Christmas 2018, so going into 2019, bought myself the RC505. I looked at the 202, but then I realized that I had more that I wanted to do. I think in terms of harmonies, tracks, I just needed more. And I'd listen to people like Beardy Man and SK Shlomo for a while before that. And then discovering the scene, I discovered Saro and MB14, Brez, a lot of the kind of French scene initially first. I took there were some lessons on offer from Tyson, so I bought a little package of videos from him as well, which is quite good for getting down the basics and also doing a couple of extra tricks and effects as well. So one of the first videos I had that really took off was I did a version of his Begging, because I've covered that for years with the band, and I knew the rap off by heart. And it was nice to have a stage name that sounds better than rather than the girls in the band just kind of going, on this one, going to do something a bit special. We're going to have a rap. Yeah, Giles is going to be rapping. It's like, there's no worse name than Giles to be rapping. It's like you've dredged me out of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for this. This is not good. That, by the way, is the only way that people in America seem to kind of recognize the name. Oh, it's like Buffy. Sure. That's his surname. His name's Rupert, which coincidentally is also the name of the Bay Six. I discovered he also has a massively posh first name as well. So that was reassuring when I met him at UK Championships. Just, someone else has got the odd one out in the odd name out in the room. Brilliant. So in reply to that, yeah, what was the question again? I just went off for a bit there.
No, I mean you nailed everything.
I talk for a living, so this is kind of
Me too.
You know how it can go. Sometimes you just got to fill that space with words.
Yeah. So so I think it's really, really interesting how you said how you started in the band. You got the stage experience. I was gonna say you had the rhythm, you had the singing, and then exactly what you said, which is the same reason why I chose the 505 instead of something smaller, was because like both of us have such a choral background. Like there's so many harmonies, there's so many counter melodies, a main melody, there's so many different percussion things, and then if you wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about, I see a Chaos Pad, and I see, is that a VT4?
Ding! Yes, it is. So yeah, I've just, one of my favorite things about the Chaos Pad, it's kind of become my trademark, I suppose, in a way, is a lot of people will use the effects on it, and you're able to manipulate it with moving your finger around, which is lovely. One of my favorite features is the sample pads. So, for example, I think one of the classics I've been doing recently is when you have it on one of those old Yamaha keyboards, when you press it on the DJ set and it goes, DJ, 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 DJ. So it can immediately sample whatever you put into it. So that could be ding, ding, or whatever you want to do. Or if you've got a series of notes, and then you put some effects on it. So lots of stuff possible with that device. The VT4 is a relatively new addition, and I think for competitions, I'm not really going to be able to use the two together. But I think that's something I'll deal with. I think if it came to competitions, the Chaos Pad is the one that will stay. I think it offers more versatility, but there's definitely a lot of things you can do with the VT4. Don't stop moving to the funky beat. It has loads of things, so I can obviously raise pitch and drop pitch. Raise the formant into Alvin territory. Or drop it down low. Which is very nice. There's a vocoder as well, which is great. You can plug a keyboard into that and have it vocode. I did find that a little limiting. I've tried it. I've got an Akai Miniac kicking over behind the computer over there. Have tried it. I'm not the greatest keyboardist, so it's a little limiting. You have auto-tune options, which is nice. You can just slide that up or down. Harmony. Yeah, and it stays on, clearly. One of the nice things about Harmony I like to do is you can set it at with one chord, set one chord, and then you can turn the effect on and off. What I like to do is put it about halfway, and then sing the chord, and change one note within the chord to get a kind of barber sharp effect. So that's nice. And there's other things as well, like megaphone, which is kind of distortion on there. There are some presets as well, and you can do all sorts of things with that. And a bypass, which turns it all off. So it's a nice bit of kit. I really, really enjoy having it, and it enables me to do some quite interesting things, because obviously I can create a bass on here, but I can create a bass on the RC505 as well. So that's down low. if I double that up and then put some distortion on it and then sing it an octave up, I can make it's quite an obscenely heavy sound. So which is nice. So yeah, lots of playing around.
And that's why in every thumbnail and in like pretty much the last two words of every title of my video always says wear headphones.
Wear headphones, because yeah, without that, what you're going to mostly hear is me kind of going. Those are most of my basses. I'm just applying a kind of filtered distortion to that, and then. Started a bit low there, but hopefully the point goes across. But yeah, absolutely wear headphones. I think there's, I think people coming to it from a layperson's perspective don't appreciate quite what is possible with just the human voice and these boxes of tricks. I've tried other things as well. I've got a Zoom multi-effects pedal somewhere. There's a large box of stuff over there. It includes mixing desks, samplers. I've got a mini Chaos pad, which is like a handheld, which when I'm hopefully going to be playing live more, I can route the audio out of the 505 through another Chaos pad to do full effects on that. So I can slice the entire track. I can do beat repeats on that. I can loop things around just with one handheld device, which will then feed into the speaker. So I can't really do that online. Haven't quite figured out the interface for that, mostly because I use USB on the back of the 505 to go into a computer for best quality. Or I will use a, what are they called? iRig. Yeah, and iRig going to a phone. So I think last night I did a video which was slightly more wide angle. My phone has a better camera to afford me the ability to do that. Audio quality takes a slight knock, but it does mean I can go out places like on a beach or something like that. I don't need to take a laptop to record with, just a phone and a small tripod does the job.
Yep. I still remember when you taught me that whole thing. So shout out to you for that. Okay.
More than welcome.
All right. Next question. What is your loop style, if you have one? So like you've mentioned, like chorus effect on Instagram. Like I've seen you mix Mozart. So if you can talk about your style or styles.
Yeah, I think it's a wide variety, because I realized just even using a few presets on here, with some of the things that I have, I know that if I can find Lacrimosa on here somewhere. That would be, got trapped in a hole there. That would be one example of the sound, taking the classical edge to its furthermost limit, and then going somewhere in the middle, something possibly a bit more melodic, but at the same time mixing that with electronic sounds. So, and going from there into, if I can find something obscenely heavy. Maybe not. There's some silly things on here, I think, which are, there's a lot of them which have gone. Oh, the whole box of tricks, loads of different styles. I think my approach in some ways informs it more, because I think a lot of people come to it as beatboxers looking to create a routine and make something that's going to be taking a solo beatbox idea and expanding that out into 3 minutes. I come from the perspective of, I have an idea for a song as a fully fledged songwriter, which I'm going to then compress into 3 minutes. I will have lyrical ideas. I'll have an idea of a structure and the way I want it to go.
Me too.
And I think then the challenge is to, in some ways, strip it down to what are the key essential ingredients that I need and then cut it right down to that core sound. I think that's why for me, I think battling is in many ways not the most natural of fits for what I do. I think live performance, and I'm really looking forward to getting out in the street. Particularly as I had a virtual business card arrive today, which is very nice. But you may have seen adverts for it on Instagram. I think they're called Tappy. It's the kind of, hey, what's your number? And you just, what is this? And yeah, you have a card which you just tap on someone's phone, at which point it loads up a kind of Linktree page with all of your sites and all of your links, which is fantastic, really. I think it was about £10. Bought it. It took a couple of months to kind of get printed off and get shipped over, but it is very, very nice. So I'll look forward to using that. And the 500 business cards that I had printed as well before I knew that existed. And yeah, I was intending to be out, hopefully playing in the streets at this point, but clearly this year's not gone to plan for anyone. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. Lots more time to practice, although that hasn't happened either. So yeah, well, it's been a strange one.
Yeah, especially when you have a family.
Yeah, that has been I think that's the thing, because I got the Loop Station, and within a couple of weeks of having the Loop Station, I mean, literally 2 weeks after, a fortnight after, my son was born. That was my second child. So I'm in the position of being, even when the UK Championships are organised, it's by some of the kind of, I don't want to say the elder statesmen of the scene, but people who are wide respected. And so that's like the Beatbox Collective. So that's Hobbit, that's Basics, that's MC Zany, organising that. And I'm older than all of them. I've got like a year or two in most cases on all of them. So I'm weirdly at the same stage of being a similar age to a lot of the kind of originators in the UK scene. But yet at the same point, I've only been doing it about a year and a half. So it's a strange position to be in. And I think it's been nice in terms of forging some great friendships through this scene. Not only with people who are, people of my own age who are often the organisers. It's good to be able to come speak to them from I suppose a similar life point in terms of our non-musical experiences. A lot of us going through similar things, but then also just to make friends across the spectrum as well. There's a huge variety of ages involved. Granted, I think we as gentlemen in our 30s will be at the top end of that, but there's going to be more and more people in the scene. There's a massive loop scene out there. A lot of it is guitars and multi-instrumental things. I think just using the beatbox side of it, I think, is comparatively young, but it'll grow and it will gain recognition. And there's some great brand ambassadors out there.
Yeah, especially that viral video of that 9-year-old who's really good.
Oh, I've not seen that. Is there a 9-year-old looper?
No. But if you're looking for young loopers, Double from Turkey. When I interviewed him, like, he keeps getting better and better and better.
Yeah, he's on the clip. He's on the Clip server, which is a kind of, I suppose you can call it. It's not an improvised open mic night server, but it is a server on Discord where we a few of us will get together, and either originally the idea is you get half an hour. I will post up a topic, like a word, an inspirational word, and then either a style of music or a BPM, a tempo, and then everyone gets half an hour to create something. And it's a good way to shake off, I suppose, it's the apathy or the lethargy of lockdown, and just get yourself motivated. You have a deadline, I suppose, in that way to work to, however artificial, and there's no pressure. If you do great, nothing, you can just come along and listen and just chat, and that's fine. And it's varied in attendance between the weeks. I think at its biggest, we've gone up to about 15. Some nights it's kind of 5 or 6 people just hanging out, making music. The last couple of weeks we've did a few different things. I think one of my favorites was last night. We did film and TV themes. Dom Tapper did a sensational Rugrat. He turned Rugrats into a reggae song about going on holiday, which was nice. And mine was predictably nerdy. I'm just trying to think where I left it now. If I left it here, I did. But of course, I wasn't satisfied with that, so I mixed it with Imagine Dragons. and I think it's a pretty simple server, but by design. I know there's I've had people saying like, can we mod on it? Can we be admins? Can we add channels? And I think it's got 2 text channels and 1 voice channel, and it's just it's nice. It's nicely empty. It is just a meeting space, it's like a room for hire, I suppose, in that way. That just put a shout out to everyone. There's a fair few people on the server, and then yeah, just turn up and give it a go. I think really is the main aim. And it's been good. Been good for about the last month and a half, coming up on 2 months now.
Yeah, like when it comes to Discord servers, I honestly measure the success by what actually goes on in the server, not just how many members you have.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a fair point, because there's so much you can get Discord overload. I think very much quite easily, and I think I went through a stage of that where I signed up to a lot of servers. There's loads of Beatbox, different communities for Beatbox, and I think I've left nearly all of them. I was the same on Facebook Messenger as well. There are several chats. I've left most of them. I think at this point, there can be an awful lot of noise generally out there, and I think one thing I wanted to escape from was there's often a preoccupation in the scene. It is a young scene. It's full of people who want to kind of show what they can do and show off what they can do, and there's a lot of preoccupation with battling, and I think it has its place. Clearly, I mean, I wouldn't have entered the UK Championships and followed that through if I didn't think that there was a time and place for it. And I think some online competitions are absolutely sensational. But I think it's quite easy to... Some people are very into the scene and can just keep... I mean, KBA can just make routines just on the spot. There's a reason he's a Dutch champion. He's sensationally talented. Found out he's actually got a background in barbershop as well the other day, so that was pleasing to hear.
Yeah, his Facebook... I don't know if it still is, but his Facebook background picture is of him in with 4 other guys dressed up.
Oh, lovely, because that could either refer to a barbershop quiet or some really interesting weekend activities. So that's great to know. There's 4 other guys all dressed up. Is it reenactment? Please tell me it's reenactment. That'd be great. I'm guessing it's choral, but they're all furries. No, it's not that either. There's just so many. No, it's not. It's not bronies. There's just so many things they can be dressed as. See, at the end, this is me. One of the first things that got cancelled for me, the weekend that lockdown happened, I had tickets to Comic-Con in Birmingham. I was going to go with the family. We were planning we were getting it together, a full Jedi family. Ali was going to get dressed up as Baby Yoda and go in a backpack. I had it all planned out. And then, COVID-19. But hey, that went off topic. Let's talk about the crew room. Let's bring it back. I noticed I looked on the question list. It was just like, oh, crew room. Yeah. It's not much of a story, but it's a story.
Well, you're right. Crew room was going to be my next question.
Yeah. I'm glad I've kept track of this because I had a number in my list, and that was question 6A, I believe. I'm bang on. Yeah, I've got my phone down here for reference. It's off, but I've managed to remember enough of it. So yeah, that was because I've only actually done 2 live competitions. The first was UK Championships. It was down in London. Didn't really know many people there. I knew Tonka and Clockworks because we'd met up previously to go and see Beardy Man, which was brilliant. It was just a night of just solid improvisation and madness, and it's just incredible what he does. And I just think he is a musical genius. Also, he's very good. It turns out I've met his brother before because his brother is Jay Foreman, who used to do kind of musical songs. I saw him supporting Dave Gorman and spoke to him. It turns out he's a friend of a friend. That's someone I know through. Someone I know through Opera Camp. Yeah, that's a thing. And yeah, Jay Foreman has a sensational YouTube channel as well with lots of things about London. So I'd recommend that if you're in need of killing a few hours. Definitely Jay Foreman, and check out Tom Scott as well because his videos are amazing. So yeah, UK Championships, that was good. Somehow managed to get my way into the final, and then Frosty pulverized me because I had nothing ready. I'd planned as far as the semi-final, so yeah, that moment against Oxbox was just, that was what I was ready for, and then I got through, and there was a moment where the cameras didn't catch it, but everyone in the audience saw the point where my face melted like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just, I've got to stay for what? And my loop had to stay on stage, so I couldn't go and prep anything. So I did my best and had fun. That was the important thing. But then a few of us heard about there was Eastbox on the East Coast in Ipswich, and Tonka was going to go, and I was going. Clockworks was going to go, and Merck as well was going to be in the solos. So we decided to put a little road trip together. And in coming up with a name, Guru naturally lent itself to Cruru, which is a shame. It feels like it's a shame I've got it for that, because we definitely have got the Cruru now. And we used to play a lot of kind of online Cards Against Humanity before they changed the ability to like make your own cards. We had quite a few good cards, and that went down about a month ago, and it's drifted a little since. But I think we're a really tight group. We have a kind of a WhatsApp we all keep in touch on, and just compare and share ideas, which has been great. But yeah, Eastbox was a really good competition. We had fun. I think Clockworks and Tonka were fourth and third respectively. I think I came second. Epos won that. He had a great night. It was just really Merck did well as well in the solos. It was a really close shout between him and Akami, I believe, in the top 8. And yeah, it was a really good night. So yeah, we just kind of went with the Cruru after that, and I wish I could use it for kind of like the online collective that I have now, possibly on Instagram. Although I'm thinking of the Gufan clan. I think, at that point, Method Man might come around and have a word with me about the Gufan clan. That could happen still. Fingers crossed. I'm sure I'll come up with something better at some stage. But
if I were you, I'd stick with the Cruru.
I know, I need to branch it out. I need to at some point just wrest control back from the guys. But I think at this point we're all kind of like partners in Cruru LLC, and they all own a part of it. And I'd feel bad taking it away. But I often refer to the online Cruru. I think I should keep that, because I think it's a nice. I like naming things. When things are named well, it just adds an object permanence to it. So, yeah.
Okay, well, you already described your experience with the UK community. You want to talk about Crook, both as a participant and as a judge?
Yeah. So I think my first online battle I was in was Crook 2. I think I was up against I got through the qualifiers, and then I was up against KBA in the semi-finals, which he won, which is not really a surprise. But it was the first night where I thought, ooh, actually, this is okay. I can actually take on people who are like national level and do okay and hold my own ground. Then I think there was Crook 3, which was the main one. I think I regret slightly my placing of pieces. I think if I'd have put my semi-final one as my quarter-final one, because I know that my quarter-final one was top, I think, of that round, and it was beating all the other people in the competition. I think my qualifier was quite a nice one as well. In to win. I've been I enjoyed that one. It's got a rap on it, which, yes, the world needs more white people rapping. But there we go. I'm just gonna put it out there. But I think Learn to Fly was just a track which went down really, really well. I think if I'd kept that for my semi-finals, might have seen my way into the top 4. But hey, it was still a good experience. And that's kind of like, I suppose, top 4 in both in Crook 2 and Crook 3. And then judging on Crook 4, which was some of it was excellent, some of it was a technical debacle. Mostly sorry, Cruru. Mostly Clockworks and Tonka respectively having issues with their connections. Both of which I think have been sorted now, in that Clockworks now I think literally performs with the router inside his RC505 to get a decent connection. And I believe Tonka is now, he's now moved and is awaiting, where he is in his room awaiting a booster box. So
I think Monday. I think I'm actually doing Merck at, I think it's like 2 p.m. my time, and then Tonka like 4 p.m. So
Yay.
So yeah,
yeah.
And it was funny because I was DMing them, and I'm like, you know what? Since we're just knocking out the Cruru here, might as well keep going.
Get the whole lot, because I heard Clockworks was on and he was doing his. He tried to do. Well, I said tried to do. Actually, it was quite good. I will say we practiced that a lot online, but the Frosty impression, which I think at this point has become. I'm really quite proud of mine at this point, because I've got 2 impressions from the beatbox world which go well. Well, which people don't know which people do. One is Tonka, because he went through a phase going, yeah, it's Tonka.
Yeah, Jason
Lovely
Staten.
Sheffield brogue. And the other one was Frosty, because at the minute I usually apply chorus whenever I'm talking, because I just like the sound of it. Chorus is just the absolute go-to effect. But without it, you can get quite a convincing, "Hey, this is Frosty. Yeah, so I'm gonna be playing some pieces tonight. Yeah, I'm really, really happy that I've just won GPV Online. Yay!" So that's good, and it's also not too far from. It's only a shade away from being an Epos impression as well. So I'm going to work on that. Yeah, I play Rocket League. Yeah, that's actually quite good. Can that
My
one?
name is
That's
Epos, and I like to accentuate certain things when I speak.
I'm so tired. There we go. That's a nice Epos. But to be fair, yeah, it's nice because I think he's been on the Clip server as well. Frosty has, Balance has, TMY has, so lots of the UK scene. Not seen a lot of Oxbox online, but as he has not already had a child, his lovely wife was expecting. So I know it's got to either have happened now or happen soon. But yeah, he's in for a world of surprise. It's a glorious journey that involves not much sleep and being very emotionally overwhelmed for large periods of your life. So yeah, give that a go. All right, onwards.
Yeah. My wife and I, we want to adopt and then also have our own child. So we're in the middle / towards the end of that whole process.
It's a glorious thing, and I think the main thing I can compare it to is, as a music teacher yourself, you'll appreciate the difference between the satisfaction of playing in an ensemble and the satisfaction of directing or conducting an ensemble. And it is living vicariously through the progress that they make and seeing what. So yeah, I've got their two little labels, because there's Lil Guru and there's Guru Junior, for the two of them, and of course Mrs. Guru, her upstairs, which is yeah, because I do try and keep like professional life and performer life vaguely separate. It didn't help that then after UKBC, I got the BBC got in touch and was like, "Can we have you to do an interview thing and then get you on BBC Radio Leicester?" That was more exposure than I was banking on. It was really good, and it was one glorious moment where, for an afternoon, I was Leicestershire's top story in the news. Now their top story is they're the place being locked down again in the UK, because the infection rates are about, I think, 6 times higher there than in other places. Lots of factories in Leicester. I think lots of that people being forced to come in and having to not report and underreporting the kind of COVID infections, and it's just spread like wildfire through certain parts of the city. But yes, that's their big news now. But back in February, it was this dude, which was a very strange but very humbling and very gratifying experience. And yeah, I think the main thing is now it's going to be like, what is it going to be for them? Because I just want the absolute best for them. I think Lil Guru is going to be a bit of a performer. They've both got quite a nice singing voice. Little one can't even talk yet, but he can hold a tune, which is quite nice. He can't do the words to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but he can do the notes and the rhythm, which is quite impressive. Just waiting for he's coming up. He's 1.5 in the next couple of days, so hopefully the talking is going to come through soon, and he won't just resort to hitting me with whatever wooden object he finds to hand. He's quite violent, but I think that's a toddler thing.
Okay, knocked it. Not sure what's going on there, but all right. Okay, so you actually knocked out one of my other questions. Okay, and then you talked about. Okay, can you talk about your BBC and also your poet interviews?
Yeah, so with the BBC, there was a guy called Harris who got in touch from BBC Radio Leicester. And this is the top tip then, if you're on Instagram, use your hashtags, because they do mean something. And one of the things that Harris did as the guy doing the kind of online and social media side of BBC Leicester was he just checks local hashtags. And I'll always tag my stuff with Hinckley, as it's where I'm from now. Been living here for about, I think, 4 years. Oh, God, I should know. It's 4 years today. Actually, to the day. There we go. 1st of July. And yeah, just kind of tagging it local. He picked up on that as a local news story, kind of maths teacher going to the UK finals. And yeah, we went out, we shot at a local rehearsal studio, which is about 5 minutes from my house. Did some performing on there, cut together with some clips from the UK champs. I just talked about lots of different things, I suppose, in terms of like my kind of musical influences, how I do what I do. And then, yeah, so in some other ways, it's like the role model aspect. I think it always comes in as being part of being a teacher. You are someone that is often around young people at a very impressionable time, and you hope that they can take something from your experience and what you do with your life. And there's many, many, many of them who just do not care at all, and it is immaterial, and it's very, very hard to like make any impression on certain 15 and 16-year-olds who are already, I think, have decided on kind of the things they will need to know in life, and everything that falls outside that, they're almost incomparably jaded about. But there's several who I think have got there's just some amazing students with incredible, like, just growth mindsets, and they are already kind of fantastically nerdy, and they're just growing into the people that you just know are going to be brilliant people. Quite a lot of whom I ran and hopefully you'll still be running a Dungeons and Dragons lunchtime club at school, which is difficult because you get about enough time to eat lunch and then go, right, where did we last left our heroes here? You're attacking this. Everyone gets one go and then we're done. Okay, cool. So you killed the giant spider, but maybe there's a note under. Oh, never mind. You've all gone because the bell's gone. Difficult. Although I'm now dungeon mastering a campaign for the music teacher at school, her husband, and 2 of their kids, and we're having an absolute ball. I've set up a campaign which clearly is able to dip into multiple universes. So one of them is going to come out. There's going to be some kind of massive boss fight in, well, it's Asda over here, but I guess you would say it'd be a Walmart car park, a Walmart parking lot. Is where that's going to take place. I've already got designs that at some point they're going to arrive in the Disney universe, and then I'm going to create stats for certain key Disney villains. I'm definitely thinking Hades from Hercules as well. If I can nail the voice as well, I think that could be a good shout. So yeah, I mean, that's that nerdy side as well. But yeah, that was the BBC thing. Talked about that. Well, I didn't talk about the Dungeons and Dragons, but a few topics pertaining to kind of me as an individual and my music. And yeah, last week I did an interview with Pope, P-O-P-E, with dots in between, who is a Yorkshire spoken word artist and thoroughly nice bloke that I met him through another contact who I think at the time went with Ninja P by Vicar and a Tutu on Instagram. And yeah, we just kind of chewed the fat, really, just talked about all sorts of topics, from diet in lockdown and how I think for us we've just given up on variety. We have good meals, but we have the same meals because we know we can cook them and we know we can get them down to a budget. So that's been good. And all sorts, really. I think it was nice to be able to dust off some sonnets as well. One of which I'm happy to recreate here if you would care to hear it. I've always enjoyed writing, because I say teach maths now, but at my core, I think I've training as an English teacher was one of the key things that tied into my love of storytelling, of poetry, of literature. And one of the things from that, I've become slightly obsessed with the sonnet of all the forms. I think having the restrictions of iambic pentameter, 10 syllables a line, being able to successfully have a kind of, I often use the Petrarchan format, so it's ABBA, rhyme scheme for the first 8, then you have some kind of volta, and you switch to a ABC, ABC for the final 6. So it's not quite strictly Petrarchan in the end, a slight remix on that. But this is one poem that I love, which if I'm just going to jump in and read it, because I love it. It's called Jumping, and it was about my daughter when she was 2, and she just learned how to jump. So that kind of explains it. But it was just a bit of a meditation on growing up and growing further apart. Because when you have a small child, they're very much just an extension of you. You project so much onto them because they're unable to express themselves. And when they reach that point where they develop language, where they develop more skills, they start to blossom as an individual. And it was about that. When first I saw you clear the Play-Doh pots, a hurdle framed in plastic jumped with ease. I saw your strength in takeoff, bended knees, and thanked our stars for gifts that fate allots. A mother's love is framed in cheery smile, with father's spirit bounding to each task. In years to come, I hope we need but ask, and by your instinct comes the extra mile. Still, too much forward planning briefly lets a telescope reveal you far away, still clearing every hurdle in your path. Our daughter, toddler, baby, outward sets, with confidence in stride, a gleam in play. I'm wet-faced, smiling, while I run your bath. I think that's quite a lot of parenthood encapsulated in that one little nugget there. So, yeah, like a bit of poetry. So it was nice to kind of pull out that side for that interview in particular and talk about the, kind of the writing process and just get a bit of poetry off my chest. So, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, with so many things happening, and like mental health right now for most people in the world is it's a lot tougher. So like,
Yeah.
and I have two small dogs. One dog in particular is more needy than the other, and like you can imagine how much tougher it is on both of them, really. So
Yeah, I think that's the case, and I think small children and dogs have a lot in common. I think they reach a point when you get to a child gets to about 2. They're more dexterous, obviously, than dogs at a young age, but there's so much in common in terms of behaviors with those kind of animalistic early times before the communication comes in. There's just a lot of it's a lot of kind of base motives, and the love is so kind of unrestrained and joyful and pure, and there's none of those kind of like societal conditions placed upon it yet, and it is very much. I think there was an episode of Scrubs, which I still rate as one of the top 5 sitcoms of all time, where I think Carla is trying to convince Turk about having a child. She sits down and says, Dr. Cox says it's like having a dog that slowly learns how to talk. He goes, that sounds amazing, right? Yeah, and it's that. It really is. If I put it in base terms, having a dog that slowly learns how to talk is very much like having children, just with many more later nights and considerably more financial outlay. But yeah, I guarantee you're gonna love it. It's a tough one, but there's a lot of fun and great times to be had.
excellent. Okay, so the last question before the it's the last question before the last 2 segments is what does your musical future look like? So like for example, like would you ever wanna loop tag? Will you keep making wild cards for like a GBB or a Worlds? Private 505 lessons, doing master classes at like a local university.
I think for that, I think I need more experience because, in many ways, I've been fortunate to kind of hopefully make a fair amount of impact. It would seem in a short amount of time, and I think for me, I'm still definitely feel like a student rather than a teacher on this. And there's lots of tricks that I know, but I wouldn't say I in any way kind of mastered the instrument to the same level as perhaps say my voice classically at one point, which was very much a very finely tuned instrument. Less so these days, but it has its moments. And the kind of natural flow that I have with the drums, I still don't think I have that on these instruments. I think I have a very good combination of options available to me that I can do a lot with. But I'm not. I think at the lesson stage, I'm still not at the point where I feel that I know what it is to teach. I do it for a living, and I think in terms of the subject mastery that I say have with maths or English, I don't feel I have that yet with this. I think it would take a while for that to kick in. I think in terms of battles, I want to keep playing big venues. I loved the feeling of having 500-600 people just joining in at the UK Championship semi-finals. It was just an unrivaled feeling. So I think I will continue to keep submitting wildcards for that. I think online battles, perhaps. I don't know if it's kind of submitting YouTube entries. Perhaps it's fitting it around whatever the new normal is, I suppose. And I think I've grown less. I've grown a lot less hungry for competition over the course of lockdown. That may just be the kind of feeling of just being stuck anyway, but physically more so. But I think for me, I really want to get out there and I want to become a better improviser. I want to be able to just go and seamlessly create without too many setbacks. I mean, obviously, there's often the kind of point where if you're making something from scratch, just making it up, you're going to have to be able to, delete bits here or there. But I want to make sure I've got a consistent. I'm not, as I said, I'm not the strongest beatboxer, but I have a kind of consistent drum sounds that I can rely on and use, and I know exactly where those settings are. And it still changes from track to track and mouth position to mouth position. I think it's balance. Once I was talking to him about he does lessons and said part of it is laziness, and I think there's an element of that. I think I have a comfort zone, which I don't feel I've explored all of yet. And I think once I've finished exploring that, there's more learning to be done, particularly in terms of the beatbox techniques and how to just. I mean, you hear the bass. Someone like Frosty or Epos and the bass drums they can put down. Sickening, I think, is the only word you can describe for just the sheer power of that. And I have my workarounds. I just don't think they are as effective. I think there's more to be learned there. But I'd like to submit wildcards for GBB. I'd like to just be, at least have my name in the mix as a kind of like on a world stage. And I wouldn't think realistically I'd be able to break into a live competition at this stage of where I am. But I'd like to be. I think, if it gets, because they do announce the rankings down to about top 20, 24, don't they? Something like that.
For which?
For GPB.
Oh,
because I think I've
So
seen the wildcards.
Yeah. So last year, they had for the solo loops, anyways, they had a top 10 and top 20. So the top 10 will automatically be on stage in this December 3rd. But then, with the pandemic and the online version, then they took, I think it was like 13 people from the top 20, and they had them compete, which personally, personally to me, I thought was a little pointless for someone like Brez, he could have done really poorly at the online thing, but everyone would still see him in December anyways. Whereas someone like Christoph, who was only number 14, he had to really fight his way to get towards the top.
Like Christoph against Rusi, was it?
Yes.
That's a small final. Wow. I mean, seriously heavy. And Christoph as well, and he's got that multi-instrumental background. And I was listening to it in the car at the time, just amazed by what they could do. I think Jimmy as well was, I thought, one of the stronger ones. And I thought he'd be in with a shout too, but I think it was definitely a good one, and it was nice to see Frosty winning it, because at least if I lost to him in the UK Championships, at least I lost to someone of a world quality level. So that's nice, at least.
Yeah, he's a really humble guy. I mean, because
it's because he's fantastically energetic as well. Just he exudes confidence and charisma all the time. But he is, also a really nice guy.
Frosty, with the anticlimax, the whole anticlimax right there.
Yeah, it's so true. But yeah, he's so talented at what he does. And whenever he comes on clip, he just has I just come up with this. It's usually mind blowing. Or he'll take. I think we did a night where you had to cover. It was covering other loopers, and I did a Robin routine, which I really enjoyed. And he did an Inky routine, which he then just jammed out on in a different direction for about 4 or 5 minutes. And it was obscenely heavy. He's so in mastery of his second device. I think that there is a bit of an arms race going on in terms of second devices at the minute. I know Tonka's just spent about £1,200 on his Helix floor. I know Clockworks is looking at an upgrade. I'm quite for me at the minute. That's I think one of the reasons I'm heading away from battles is I like the versatility of what I have on offer here, and it may not sound the best, or I may just have to write better routines. Anything is possible. I mean, look at what Sorrow achieved with Single Device, and it's still some of the most iconic loops of all time.
Yeah, it's like the French.
And Brett also as well. Yeah, the French have a lot of them are really sticking to that Single Device. I mean, Robin stuff is incredible, but it's the complexity of the craft, not of the sound design and engineering. A lot of people, I think, have a kind of sound engineering background and production background who are particularly the ones who are making these incredible noises. But often it's just a case of on stage they just go boop, and then everything happens. And I think I like to see the craft. That's why I appreciate Robin so much. I love watching him craft those harmonies, and again, the real feel of a songwriter coming through it. I know he is a multi-instrumentalist and plays in the band. Yeah, it's just brilliant. So, yeah.
Right. So I think we covered everything. Oh, one fun question: American Guru, British Mills, or both?
Well, no one's seen us in the same room together at the same time, and I'm going to leave that there. I've had a great time talking to myself this evening. Oh my god! No, it's we are who we are. I think people will put us in a similar bracket. We have a lot of things in common. We are both teachers. We are both teachers of I suppose I do teach some music as well. Both gents in our 30s. And yeah, I think it's similar stages in our lives and have things going on. I was going to ask, how's your not appendix? Is all well?
Yes, it is all well.
How is the absence of appendix working out for you?
It's fine. Mostly everything is back to normal. I mean, like, so I've been trying to get into more housework, gardening, doing other projects, and I started lifting much heavier things, and so I still have to take it easy a little bit. So, depending on when people watch this, about 4 weeks ago, I got my appendix taken out. So for those 2+ weeks, I've had to take it easy. Otherwise, yeah.
I went straight to the back of the book and just took that appendix. Tragic. But yeah, no, I think the thing is as well. Then, I mean, how has that been navigating? Obviously, the American health insurance industry is renowned the world over for just how generous and completely and utterly egalitarian and fair it is. I hope that's not been too much of a nightmare.
Well, so my wife and I actually have really good health insurance through our state of Maryland. So both of us are very lucky in that regard. So it's not like like I'm having to go to an urgent care and have an actual operation. It's actually not that bad. Like I almost feel like it's NHS for us too. But then you have documentaries where it's people that are the extreme opposite end of feeling like they have an NHS over there in the UK.
Because we just turn up and it's free. We don't have to fill out. There's no forms. It's done. It's lucky for you that it's a case of "Good morning, Baltimore," which is just.
Last two questions. Some people like to switch up the order. Drop a loop beat for you. Drop a loop beat. Any final shoutouts?
I think I'll probably do the shoutouts first. Generally, I want to thank my agent. And yeah, just start off Oscar style. I'll be weeping, and a small child will have to come on and push me off the stage as the music plays as they go to commercial break. Or Billy Crystal could do it. I don't mind. Billy Crystal could push me off the stage. That's fine. Yeah, so just to the crew, hello. It's me. It's your boy, G to the U Guru. Oh God, I just heard that back in my head, and there we go. I said it. Nevertheless, yeah, to the whole UK scene, to the Clip server, to anyone who knows me. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been really good, and just nice to chew the fat, as it were. So shall I drop something now? Should probably make something from scratch. I should make an effort. I've been talking of this game of improv, so I've been listening. Oh well, I've been trying to get some electro swing going at the minute. So my wife is convinced that I've nicked part of this from the Blues Clues theme, but I don't know. I think it's gypsy jazz. But it was like dum 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 da dum, a 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 dum 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 da Say goodbye to Mills. Yeah. That'll do. Thank you for your gloriously muted applause. There's someone walking past the street going, I can hear clapping from a basement. I don't know why, but it sounds enthusiastic. Clap, clap, clap.
Oh, I thought of one more thing just for you.
Yes. Oh,
vocal.
Special.
Last thing. Vocal impressions, go.
See, the thing with the vocal impressions is you've got to understand. You've got to have a frame of reference for what you're doing. So if everyone knows who it is, it's fine. And my favorite is probably it's Christopher Walken, but it's Kevin Pollak's impression of Christopher Walken, which is glorious because it's like you'd be talking. It's crazy because Christopher Walken, you'd be talking to him and he'd just like come out with something like, "Hey, Chris Hager, my soup pills never scared me," but yeah, children do because they're dot, and that's crazy. Wow. And Dave Grohl telling the story of how Christopher Walken introduced him backstage and went, "Gentlemen, I have one question for you. Is the accent on the fool or on the fighters?" And they all looked at each other and went, "Yeah, it's on the fighters." Yeah. Anyway, that's what I thought. Yeah. And then went out live in front of an entire audience and went, "Ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters." Just glorious. Yeah, that was Frosty's impressions. Thank you for coming. Hey man, it's all good. Whereas Matthew Damon doing his, oh god, what is his name? All right. Matthew McConaughey impression. Apparently every day on Ocean's 11, Matt Damon said he used to go to Steven Soderbergh, the director, and doing his finest Matthew McConaughey impression, used to go, "Mr. Soderbergh, I believe that today's scene would be a great opportunity for me to take off my shirt." And I think that is on that cue. I will not be taking mine off, but I believe that today's been an excellent opportunity for me to showcase my particular brand of music. And I'd like to say I'm very grateful to you, Mills, for the opportunity. I'm extremely grateful, and well, thank you, sir. It's been a very privilege, and I thank all my family as well. And I believe this has been a highlight of my week. I sincerely do. And I did not have sexual relations with that woman. That one, yeah. Got to go deep for the Clintons. Going back to Bill. Take a dollar bill.
I'm just a Bill.
I'll play the saxophone, and I got a rough homespun charm sometimes that gets me through. Hey, at least I'm not George W. Bush. Because we thought those were bad times. But boy, were we wrong. Excellent. Excellent. DJ. That's a tribute to Tonka as well, because frankly, yeah. Excellent. It's just the best thing on the clip is Tonka's keyboard. DJ. Very good. Very good. I overuse that far too much, but hey. Or the little reverb. Lovely. That's my favourite bit of UK Champs. If you stay on to the end of the Oxbox set, you'll notice just towards the end, I still had this on. I still had an effect on transpose. And with transpose on, if you watch the last 10 seconds of my routine against it's Oh Hell Yeah against Oxbox, you'll hear me go. And then when you hear that noise and it goes, "Oh hell yeah," and stops, and then you hear, and I just stuck a little siren in the end of it. That's a little Easter egg for all you YouTubers out there. You get on over to the Oxbox clip, you go and watch it, because that's not got as many views as the Frosty one, understandably. But I just feel it's possibly it's a well balanced matchup, because Oxbox is an absolute legend. I had such a good time. It made me feel so welcome on stage. And ooh, shivers remembering it. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm still going, Anta. You want to wrap this up? I can see. You're like an eager elf for Santa. You just want to get this all wrapped up. And here's me battering on, like Mrs. Claus after having won too many. Unstoppable.
Oh.
Like Dwayne the Rock Johnson on a train. You're not going to stop that. I don't know where that one came from.
All right. Well,
silly. New extended running time. Mills After Dark. Where the interviews go that bit longer than he wants.
Roxer Loops.
Here's the format. Messing with it.
After I edited Roxer Loops, his was an hour and a half. So you might be.
That's not a good time. I can push it a little longer if you desire.
Okay, well, this has been Mills from America. Well, this has
Yeah.
been Mills from America, and today we very interestingly interviewed.
Guru from the UK.
All right, Ash.
Bless you. Um, that's my favorite way to punk a beatboxer. Just every time they try beatbox, just go, "Oh, bless you." It's the worst thing. Night, everyone.